Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by today. I'm going to show you how I created some really fun embellishments using images out of this coloring book. And I think I'm going to start with this little Winnie the Pooh guy right here. I'm going to make a couple copies of this. I'm going to cut them out based on the different layering. And I'm going to choose my paper and we're going to paper piece this little guy together. So I'm going to go ahead and do 4 copies of this, just all the same page. This one I printed out on cardstock, and the rest of these is just copy paper because I'm going to use these as templates to trace around or to cut around when I cut the different layers out on cardstock. So I'm not worried about the quality of this paper, just to be able to use it for layering pieces. So this first piece here, I'm going to carefully cut around the outline all the way around Winnie the Pooh. Lots of fussy cutting. So I'm just going to cut out around the outside of it to get a general cut. Normally I would be sitting at my craft desk, but the sun is coming in and kind of blinding where the camera would be. So I'm going to cut out the honey pot. Super cute. And this honey pot has a bow on it, so I might use that, or I might put a different bow on there. So for now, I'm going to put this aside. This is the one that's the cardstock. That's all I'm going to need from this piece. Okay, so we have the honey pot and the Pooh and 60-pound cardstock. So I'm going to carefully cut around the outside of all of these edges. That's the base layer of the honey pot. Here is my base layer. What I want to use for the Pooh body. So I cut out a piece of this yellow cardstock. It has a little bit of texture to it. And that's going to be my base piece. So I'm going to cut around this, and then we're going to build Pooh Bear off of this base layer piece. I cut this piece out for his shirt. To start, I want to use some temporary adhesive, and I've got these repositional glue dots. So I'm just going to put a couple on him on the back, just to keep my template in place while I'm cutting it out. So I'm going to put it right along the edge there. Then I'm just going to trace around it with a black marker all the way around. And I'm going to cut it out. Okay, so here's my background piece, and I took my scissors, and on one of the copies I made, I cut out his arm, and I left a little bit up at the top where it'll be under, I'll show you, like where his clothing is. So here's the one I cut out, and then there's his arm. So that's gonna rest right here on the base. And then I went ahead and cut this piece out in the yellow cardstock like this. Okay. Then this whole piece will go, I might have to do some trimming. And right here, I'm going to trim that off because that's going to be part of his shirt. So as you're creating this, you can be able to tell where you'll need to do some trimming. And then this will be his arm, and then this part will be covered up when I cut out his shirt. And next, I still need to do his legs, so I'll do that next. So the way I'm going to do that, I'm going to take the same copy and I'm going to cut out his legs here and here, and then I can use that as a template. So I'm just going to cut out his legs. I probably made too many copies of this, but for the sake of the video, I wanted to make sure. Now, for this one, we want to make it cut out all of it, just like this one. The other leg, that's going to be glued behind his body. I'm going to leave a little extra up here, and then I can attach it up here using glue. This foot will go on here eventually, and then might have to trim a little off the base. And then this one will be here, and I do need to trim some excess off of his leg area. It's actually the next morning now. So cheers, having my morning cup of coffee. I have to go back and just to show what I did to cut these red pieces out. I received a phone call, did not realize my phone had quit recording, and I just went on my merry way, continuing to cut out the shirt. So I'll go back and I'll explain what I did. So I took one of the extra scraps pieces of paper that I had, cut out completely around Pooh's body, where his shirt is. And then I cut that into different layering pieces. And this one's the background piece. And I'll lay it on here so you can see what I cut out, what I included. Basically, the entire background of the shirt here is going to be on the first layer. So let me get that arm. So this is the arm, and the arm is going to be back here. So I may end up cutting that off, but I'm not going to do that yet until I know for sure. And then this is the sleeve on the side, and that is going to be on top like that. And then the other side, which looks just like a little random scrap, that will be, let me move these. That will be this piece here, but it's going to be glued behind. But on top of the arm. So as I'm gluing everything together, it'll make more sense. So there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces for Pooh Bear and his shirt. And now I'm going to cut out this adorable little honey pot. So this one will have the base, then there's going to be a lid, and then the bow that goes around. So I'm just going to find the edge of my paper so I'm not wasting more than I need to. Okay, so there I have the honey pot on top of the base. And I know the lid will be separate, the bow will be separate, and the pot will be separate. But for now, I'm just looking for the base piece. So I'm going to cut around the entire base of the honey pot only. So there's the base of the honey pot. And as you see, I cut off that side of the bow. That'll be our base. Eventually, we might cut off the lid part if it's sticking out. I don't know. But we'll go ahead and just leave it like that for now. Then I can reuse this because I'm going to cut out a separate one for the lid. And then we're just going to cut around. This is going to glue right over the... So there's the 2 layers of the honey pot. Here is all of the pieces we need to put this together. I went and got the colors of Distress ink. And these are actually pretty good colors for working with Winnie the Pooh. The color is fossilized amber. Yeah, do all the layering pieces in yellow like this. All of the yellow pieces, the shading done, and I use a little vintage photo oxide. I don't have the ink, so this is fine. This will give it a little distressed look around the edges of the shirt pieces. Start gluing him together. We're going to start with the base, and again, we might need to trim some things. So I'm going to follow my template sample here to help me build my Pooh Bear. So this is the base. He is right here. I can cut that off. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. This edge here also I can cut off, I think. And that's why you want to keep this base template and do it in the cardstock so you have it to refer back to. I could also cut this little thing out here because that's part of the shirt that I have a layering piece for. Cut that off. And the collar here, that's part of the shirt, so I'm going to cut that off just straight with his body, like that. Now, from here up, we don't want to cut any because this is his face, and that is all going to be showing. So the first thing I want to do, I'm gonna need to glue on his lower leg. I know that one is safe to just glue on right here. I'm gonna cut off a little excess of this toe because I don't need that showing, and I just want to make sure that I have it cut off enough so it's not going to show. So just take your wet glue. Just take your time and plan out where all your pieces are going to go. And this one's fairly easy because it doesn't have a lot of pieces. In the original, we get this. His other foot is behind. So I'm going to put that on next. Here's his other foot. And I'm just going to put some wet glue on the top here, just at the top part of it. His other foot. It's going to go about there. Let me hold it up to the drawing. Okay. If you want to, you could just lay it down like that and then put the rest of it down on top of him. The next thing I'm going to want to glue on is his shirt base, because his arm is going to go on top of the shirt base, but under the top, the sleeve, and then this piece over here will be behind the shirt base. Take this guy and find out where he needs to be on here, and that looks good. I'm not going to need this little tip here, so I'm going to cut that off because I have a layering piece for that. Let me just get rid of that. I think I have it to where I need it. Okay. There, I think we got it. Okay, there's his little body. Smooth that out a little bit since I lifted it up a lot. Make sure the glue sticks good. You know, what would be really cute is to use a piece of felt for his shirt. But with these little pieces, that might be a little bit hard to do. For this next one, we have to incorporate his arm here, okay? Because this is going to go on top and this of his arm. We need to figure out where that's going to be. Then this piece is going to go somewhere around here. I'm going to cut off just a hair off the top of the arm here. And the corners, so they're not sticking out. I'm going to glue the arm on first, but I'm going to do the placement of everything just to make sure everything looks good. This corner here is a little ragged, but that's okay. All right, and then I'm going to glue that down like that. So let's do the arm first. We're going to do these one at a time. And it's not an exact thing like a die cut. And then we're gonna put the little sleeve right on there. Make sure everything is glued down really good. And see, just by piecing those together, it gives it the dimensional look. So you need to put his arm back here. And we need this to be here. Wait a minute. And then the arm is gonna go like so. Some glue. Now, what I'm noticing is this part here. To carefully start cutting around his little body. All right. And this is gonna go like right here. Oh my gosh, look at how cute he looks. The only thing left now is to add the details on his little face. And I think I'm just going to do that with a black gel pen. So there is the finished Winnie the Pooh. I think he just looks so adorable. And when you make this, I'm not really making this for anything. I just wanted to do a video for it. So if I was making this honey pot for an actual project, I would do a better job. But you get the idea. There's the honey pot. It's got a cute little bow on it. And there's Pooh. He's just stinking adorable. Plus the honey pot. So hopefully you can try this technique. It's very relaxing too. I enjoyed it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.